Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited that you are here. If you are new, my name is Inessa and I am an indie author from Toronto, Canada, and I publish under the pen name A Sage. I write YA, mostly fantasy, sci-fi, and pretty much anything paranormal and mystery related. And if you are new, then you should know that on this channel, I share weekly videos about kind of my experience of indie publishing after having written about 15 books at this point. Just kind of tips and tricks I've picked up along the way, behind the scenes of my author life, planning videos, because I'm a huge planner and plotter, and pretty much anything that I think you might find interesting as an indie author or somebody who is considering authorship as a career choice. So with that said, I have a really fun kind of tools review video for you today. We haven't done a tools video in a while, and I do use quite a lot of tools to kind of keep my writing going and just keep my entrepreneurial career going. So if you have not heard me mention this little tool before, I think I mentioned it like in some random videos here and there, but I'm going to be talking about Timeular. This video is not sponsored at all by any way. I just really love this little tool, and it's great for time tracking, for figuring out where your time works, and I think it's just like a fantastic tool for entrepreneurs. So with that said, what is Timeular? I have the little device right here. So this cute little freaking thing, look how cute it is. This is a Timeular. This is the Timeular device. There's an app. We're going to go through it. I'll do a screen share, but that's the actual device. So if you're wondering, that's the base it sits on. So I can take that off now. And you get this little multi-sided little tool. It's very light, very, very light. It's like a super light little, I don't even know what shape this is, clearly. Math was not my strong suit, but because I'm a writer. It's a very light tool and it kind of sits on your desk. And the way it works is each one of these sides on this tool represents a different task. So you have 8 sides on here, so you can have 8 tracks that you're tracking, basically 8 different tasks. And whichever one, so when you place it on your table, if this is facing up, then that is what's being tracked, right? So when you switch it here, so right now I have it on, let's say, A Sage right. So see, it's the writing one. So if I have that facing up, it means I am writing, and it's the app that's attached to this, that's linked to it, is tracking how long I'm writing for. And let's say I'm now going to switch over to design work for Cauldron Press. So I'll switch it and I'll place Cauldron Press design facing up, and it's going to be tracking that. So whatever is facing up, that's what it's tracking. And so how do I use this tool for tracking? So if you are doing a lot of things, if you're working on a lot of projects, which as I do, so you know that I have my writing career, I am also a designer under Cauldron Press. We now have courses that are launching. We have one course out right now, fantasy book cover design, that I created under Cauldron Press. I have this YouTube channel. So it's like I have a lot going on. And as an entrepreneur, it's kind of, especially when you work from home, it's hard to tell how much time you're spending on each task. And I want to know this because I'd like to know basically where my time is going. And I want to track my working hours, right? And that helps you figure out your rates, your prices, if you're setting prices for anything, where your time suck situations are. You're getting distracted by something. Are you taking lunches? Are you eating? You know, like that kind of stuff. So I want to see all of that, and I want to know all of that because it does help me run my business better. So I use Timeular as a way of tracking where my business hours are. And it helps me rejig my business pretty much every quarter or every year when I set new prices for things. And kind of try to figure out like, okay, so if I'm in writing mode and I am writing, but I wrote like for 2 hours today and I managed to pump up 3,000 words, right? But yesterday I wrote for 3 hours and I only got 1,000 words. Why, right? And so there's got to be other things that I was doing in between. And then I can see where my distractions were. And let's say if I'm on a writing deadline, I can make sure to eliminate those distractions in the future. It seems like a lot of extra stuff to do. But if you are working for yourself, this to me has been so absolutely helpful, incredibly helpful in just figuring out work hours, because I don't have set work hours, right? As an entrepreneur, someone who works from home, and for myself, I don't have a 9 to 5. I work random hours, and I want to make sure that, first of all, I don't have days where I'm working, let's say 10 to 12 hours, and then another day where I'm working 1 hour. I want to make sure that everything is properly aligned, and that I have office hours set for myself. And in order to do that, I need to kind of track what I'm doing every day. So that's where this is from. So also here in the front, this little thing, it pops right out. So you can charge it there. It turns it on and off. But once you have it linked, I find I only have to charge this thing once a week. I put it to charge overnight and that's it. But once you have it linked, if you have the app kind of just clicked on in the background, every time that you turn this, it will start tracking on its own. And you can also program a hotkey to start tracking manually as well. So if you don't have this, or this is dead and not charged, you can manually track as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip the screen, and I want to take you over to my computer, and we'll do a little overview of what the app actually looks like, so you can see for yourself kind of how I use it. So we are now in the Timeular app, and I just have it pulled up to a random week in December. You can switch out your weeks over here, or you can pull up your months as well through here. So when you sign in, or when you open your app, this is what it's going to look like. It just, it's very minimal. So there's not too much to think about. It's very easy to maneuver as well. I have a few workspaces set up. You can customize all of this. You can add another workspace if you want, but this one is set up for all the different sides that I am tracking on my Timeular. So you can see I have A&Sage admin, design, A&Sage writing. Then I have all the Cauldron Press stuff, admin, courses, design, formatting, and then I have a YouTube side as well, just like when I showed you in the video. You can add more activities, change these activities. So if you click to edit, you can change the color, what you're calling them, and things like that. So that's kind of what your workspaces are. And you can see on my calendar here on this particular week, it shows you exactly how much time you spent. So every time I use my tracker, it would show me exactly how much time I spent, and it's all color coded based on these. So it will tell me where I spent that time. Now, when you go into your tracker, you can see over here, I have these all assigned, and you can change the assignment. All you have to do to change the assignment is when you click edit to assign, they'll ask you to place the tracker facing up on what you're assigning and what you're going to call it, and then you do it through there. Now, your tracker will also come with instructions on how to do this, and it's very, very simple. Then my favorite part of this, you also have just down here in this left corner, this is just your account setting here, like your plans, your billing. So they have a few different billing accounts, and then they have a customer service, I believe. Just like a help center, which I've never used. So my favorite part of all of this, aside from the calendar, which kind of gives you a good at a glance, you can also set goals. So you can add a goal. I don't really use this as much, but you can set a goal for yourself to say you want to be writing every day for an hour. You would set that as a goal for yourself, and it will tell you how close you are to that goal at the end of the week or the day or whatever you've set it for. So the part that I really like to use here is this insights. So if you, let's go back to say that week in December, December 20th to, let's say, the 26th. So let's say that you can see here how many hours you were working in that week. This was around Christmas, so it's a very slow time. So I only worked for under 20 hours that week, but Christmas time, whatever, understandable. But it will tell you basically an overview of how many hours you worked that week, how many hours you spent per task block in that week. And then it will also break it down by day. So you get some really good insights. I'm on the basic plan. There is a pro plan that will tell you kind of like average entry length, track day, start time. I find I don't really need this for the purposes I use it for. The basic plan is fine for me. If I need to upgrade later, I will. But with the pro plan, you can actually export all of these different insights onto your computer in like a CSV file. But I find for me, I just kind of write this down weekly in my planner, and then I do a monthly tally in my planner as well. And that's simple to do. Like all you're going to be doing, you can like look at last month and see, it'll just tell you all of December, right? Like everything will be broken down. You can go by like this week. You can go by last week. So there's different ways that you can take a look at all of this and see what you have going on. So I really like this insights, and it really helps me a lot. And so what I do usually is at the end of every week, I will go through the week and I will write down pretty much in my planner what I've spent time on, my total hours worked that week. And then at the end of the month, I'll do a full tally. And so when you're in your so let's say we're going to right now. So this week right now, when you're in your calendar view, so let me just turn on. So you can't see it because obviously you're in a screen mode, but I'm going to turn on, and you see how that popped up there, and now it is tracking. So if you double click on this, you'll see it started tracking YouTube, because I just clicked it to YouTube because that's what we're doing. And it started tracking YouTube at 13:57 on this date. Right? So it's going to keep tracking it as long as it's facing up. So right now, that YouTube tracking section of mine that I have calibrated here on my tracker, it is facing up, and so it's tracking my YouTube. As soon as I take this off, it will stop tracking it, right? So that one there, you need to like really zoom in to see it. So yeah, this one we only did it for a second. So I actually really like this, because if you track something for like 3 seconds, it will think that you were like accidentally just switching the track around. It won't track 3 seconds of work time, because that's not work time. But here, for example, when I was originally filming the intro for this video, it was tracking everything I was doing. So it was facing up, and it was tracking it for 1 minute. Well, for 1 hour and 3 minutes. So that is kind of what the app of this tracker looks like. And I will link the website for Timeular, where you can get the app and the trial for it, and where you can order the actual tracker and everything, and just get more information about it in the description below as well. So make sure to check that out. So that is how I use the Timeular device. Like I said, I love it. It's been fantastic. I've been using this for months now, and I seriously have no complaints about it at all. I did make, so for, in case you're wondering, it does come with like stickers and stuff that you can put on here, or you can just write on it what the different sides are, so you know what you're tracking as you're tracking it. But I did make these, like the ones I have on there. Ooh, will focus? Yeah. So the ones I have on here right now, I made them, and they're all color coded for the 3 main arms of my business. And I basically just did these like on the computer. You can do this in Word, like in Canva, wherever. And I printed them off on sticker paper, like just regular sticker paper that I have at home, and cut it out and stuck them on. So you don't need like any, like if you have sticker paper that you can get at Staples or on Amazon or whatever, if you have that, you can just use that for the tops of these. Or you can just use either whatever color-coded stickers it comes with, or you can just literally write on here with like a marker or Sharpie or pencil or whatever. And I've seen like people draw on this too, like make art for it, which is really cool. Like artists would paint on it or draw in color pencils or whatever. And it's really beautiful. If you like look up Timeular art, I think on their Instagram, I'm going to link the website for Timeular obviously below, but I think on their Instagram or somewhere on their website, you can see how people have customized these for themselves. And it's really cool to see. There's some really beautiful art out there. So anyways, with that said, hopefully you like this little tool. I mean, if you want to give it a try, take a look at, I think they have like a pretty good return policy as well if you want to just give it a try, or you can try the app, like a trial of the app without getting this first, to manually input stuff, and see if you want to do that. So you do need to get the app, obviously, to use the app and to track anything. But there's a trial period with that. And that's what I did when I first started, is I tried it manually and I really liked how it worked. And so I ended up ordering this and just upgrading for the paid version of the app after. So that's my little time tracking tool. You can also use this, I should mention, for sprints. You can set this up in different times of sprints and sprints for that time, and see how many sprints you do in a day. So that's kind of like where my writing one is. It's almost like how many sprints I do, which for me, sprints are like I write in bulks of time, not so much sprints. Like I'll sit down and write for 2-3 hours. When I'm kind of in writing mode, I'm on a deadline, I have a book coming out, I usually will write for like a few hours of the day instead of sprinting. But that's just me, right? So if you're a sprinter, you can use this for sprints as well. So yeah, just a new kind of tool to think about. If you are working for yourself, I highly, highly recommend it. And it's like a good little kind of tool to have around, just in general, to kind of see if you're somebody who is prone to not knowing where your time is going, like me. So this is a good way to figure that out. So with that said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week for another fun video. Stay magical, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.